Okay, checking out the DPA 4060 Sony lavaliere, Sanken COS 11, and the Countryman B3 microphones. Movies, books, musical compositions, and other creative works are copyrighted so that no one may legally duplicate or use the material from the work without permission. When you make a movie, you are granted copyright to protect your work. If you want to use other people's copyrighted material in your movie, for example, a song or a film clip, you usually need to obtain permission or a clearance. Clearing copyright material typically involves getting a signed permission or license and paying a fee. There are other types of signed permissions or releases used to establish what you have the right to use someone's appearance or performance to shoot a given location or to tell someone's life story. Getting required permissions takes time and money. The permissions themselves may be high-priced, and there may be legal fees and administrative costs for tracking down the rights holders and negotiating a license or other deal. Hollywood studios are often extremely careful to clear all needed rights, and even some that may not be needed. Why? They have lawyers on staff and they're looking for maximum protection. If people know you have a lot of money, they may sue you even if they don't have a legitimate claim. Just defending a suit can cost thousands even if you win. At the other end of the scale, student and independent movie makers sometimes don't get the permissions they need, hoping the chance of litigation is low. While the need for some permissions is clear-cut, other types of clearances fall into a gray area. Even lawyers may disagree about which ones are needed or from whom the permission should be sought. For example, under the fair use laws, you may be able to use some copyrighted material without permission. However, you can't always be sure when fair use covers you. Sometimes lawyers can only offer their opinion. The producer must ultimately make the judgment and take the responsibility. It's highly unlikely that anyone will come after you if you put a copyrighted song into a video and only show that video to friends in your living room. However, as soon as a movie is shown or distributed to the public, especially for a fee, you become vulnerable to a lawsuit if you've used copyrighted material, someone's performance, or a protected life story without permission. If you lose, you'll pay damages and may be required to re-edit or stop showing the movie. Websites may take down posted videos that contain uncleared copyright music. Distributors, broadcasters, streaming services, and film festivals may not accept a movie if the required clearances haven't been obtained. But even prior to distribution, if you're doing a professional production, you'll probably need a deal with an E&O insurers who will want to see your permissions. The greater exposure to your product gets, the more money it generates, or the more money you have, the greater the chance that someone will take legal action, justifiably or not. To protect yourself, consult an entertainment attorney before you start shooting, to ensure you get the permissions you need, and have them review the project when it's done. Sometimes your attorney will approve of something, but another entity, an insurance company or streaming service, will question or reject it simply to avoid risk. For an excellent guide to production-related production issues and sample forms, see Clearance and Right Copyright by Michael Donaldson and Lisa Califf. Protecting your work, copyright and other protections. When you copyright a movie, the copyright coverage includes dialogue, soundtrack, music, and photography. You can't copyright the ideas or concepts in a film, just the specific expression of them. Broad ideas for plots and settings can't be owned, but verbatim excerpts of dialogue can be. According to worldwide copyright agreements, copyright applies to a script or movie as soon as you commit it to paper, video, or film. This is automatic and immediate and does not require formal notice or copyright registration with the government. Sometimes a script is registered prior to casting when the project is in pre-production. Generally, the movie as a whole is registered when it is done. Another form of protection for scripts and written treatments prior to the making of the movie is to register with the Writers Guild of America Script Registration Service. For a fee, the WGA keeps a copy of your script on file for a period of years. If another project comes out that you feel has plagiarized yours, the registered script can help establish that your material predated that one. To be sure that the WGA registration is noted on the cover of your script when you give it to people to read. When trying to get a project started, you're often in a catch-22 situation. If you don't tell anyone about the project, you can't generate interest in it. If you do tell, you're vulnerable to people stealing your ideas. When you're pitching a feature film idea, your ideas are protected somewhat if you are represented by an established talent agency that can help track down who told your ideas to in case someone later uses them. Even without an agent, you can back up your claims having pitched ideas for any project by keeping written records for all the conversations and writing follow-up letters after meetings and calls to establish a paper trail of ideas you discussed. Whether it will be worth pursuing a lawsuit, you'd be wrong, is a whole other question.